сказать hello?
Можно, скажи.
Hello. Hello.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, this is your guide Olena from Kyiv, the capital of Ukraine, and that video will be about the burglary. The reason why I have decided to cover this topic, I have to cover that topic, is that a few weeks ago, 1 week ago, we fell victims of burglary. So we've been robbed, or how to say, burgled. That happened while we were away on vacations. We were missing about 1 week, and when we came back, we discovered that we've been robbed. Yes, so you will find that video in the link is here and in the description of that video. Well, basically, when I found out about that case, the first thing I did, I just grabbed my camera and started filming like an instinct. Why? I guess not to fall apart and to stay focused. This is why. Then we called the police. The police arrived just in 20 minutes, and they spent about 1-2 hours in the apartment. Luckily, the children, they were asleep, so we carried them on our hands up home, and they were sleeping when the police had been working, and luckily their kids' room was not touched by the thieves. So basically, when that happened and I published that video, I received so much of your support, so much of kind words, so much of good advices, and quite a lot of just direct money donations. Many people became my patrons on Patreon, subscribed my Patreon. And I would like to say many thank you guys. Almost all the money that had been stolen by thieves is basically back to us. Thanks to you. And we are okay. Okay, so now we are absolutely fine. I can focus on doing this YouTube channel and on getting ready for the baby that is coming. Because in about 2 months we will have a baby. That will be a girl, and we will call her Darina, which means a gift in Ukrainian language. Well, I'm taking some pills to calm down, to sleep at night, because for the moment it's still difficult to do. I was quite traumatized by that case. Yeah, but let me step by step. Why I decided to make another video, because the last time I received so much questions for you, and some of these questions, they show that you don't really understand the situation in Ukraine. Like, do we have concierge? Were there cameras on the building? Why we were keeping cash at home? How burglars invaded? Will the police find them? Etc. So I'd like to cover all these questions. And first I will start from the statistics. And it turned out, guys, that I'm not the only one. How many cases were investigated? How many thieves were arrested? Unfortunately, I couldn't find the statistics, but I believe not many people. Why do we have that situation? Basically, low income, unemployment, and probably one of the main reasons is impunity. Those thieves are not arrested. Quite often people even do not report to the police because they find it useless. So thieves, they just go on robbing apartments. Not only super rich people become victims of burglars, but even just, old retired people. They come back home and they find out that their small pension is gone, unfortunately. So most of these cases, they happen in the summertime, when we have summer vacation season, when many people, they go abroad or to the seaside, most of them to the seaside in Ukraine, and they leave their apartments unsupervised, and that is the time when most of these cases happened. And the same happened to us. We left for 1 week. There was a cat in our apartment, so my sister, she visited a couple of times the apartment to give him food and to clean his toilet, but it turned out that was not enough. And it turned out that our neighbors next door, they were away too. Some of you guys, you blamed me that I made a Facebook post about my summer vacations, and like, oh, thieves discovered that you are away because of your Facebook account, you shouldn't have done it. Probably you are right, yes. But one thing, I published the post just on Saturday, and we were coming back on Sunday, so just one day before we were coming back. So I thought that was smart enough. And the second, in this case, the thieves, they found out about the empty apartment not from social media at all, not from Facebook. Because our neighbors, they've been robbed too, and basically this the same day, at least 6 apartments in our small neighborhood, they have been robbed in one day. And let me explain you how it works. So here, all these apartment entrances, how they don't have concierge. We are living in quite an old Soviet neighborhood. They have the so-called, how you call it, intercom, like you press a button on at the entrance, and then you receive a call on the top. And like the burglars, what they do, first of all, they're just watching the windows to see, are you at home, are there lights, they turn on, turn off, or there is no one. And the second, from time to time, like I am at home, and from time to time I receive such a call from the entrance, from an unknown neighbor saying, hi, please let me in, I'm your neighbor from apartment to 200 something. Or like, hi, we are from the internet provider service and we need to check the cables on the roof, we don't have the key, so please let us in. And in fact, you can let them in, you can leave them over there at the entrance, but the thing, they found out, are you at home or you are away? And that is how they usually check, is there anyone at home or there is no one. All those apartments that had been robbed the same day, they were all from the upper floors, you know, upper floors. And in all of those cases, most probably the criminals invaded through the windows. So how it happened in our case, when we entered the apartment, we found out that the mosquito netting was knocked out, and it was inside of the kitchen. Flowers were, they put the flowers on the table from the window accurately. Probably they were checking if really nobody is at home and there is someone left, which sounds scary. So basically all those apartments, and ours included, they had been robbed by Spider-Man, which maybe sounds fantastic for you guys, but not for me, because we are used to those, you know, industrial Spider-Man that work on those apartment blocks. Like, look, they're so-called panel houses. And many people, they make thermal insulation because to make it warmer in the winter time and to make it cooler in the summertime. So it's not a surprise when you see people hanging on the ropes on the walls of the apartment, because they put some insulation, some insulation, how you call it in English, yes, on the walls. So most probably that happened at night. They came into the apartment through the windows, they trashed the apartment looking for valuables, they took only money and only gold. They didn't touch any, you know, documents, or there were some like notebooks, for example, laptops. They didn't take it like at all. Alcohol, no. Most probably they spent like 15, maybe 20 minutes in the apartment. They were in a hurry because they opened many bags, but not all of them. And they left. They left through the doors, and they locked the doors after they left. Later, our keys were found in the apartment of our neighbors. The neighbors, they say that their thieves invaded through the balcony too, and the doors were knocked out, but from inside. So this is how the thieves escaped, through the doors. Most probably they always have a backup plan, like plan B, to leave the apartment through the windows again. This is why they take only money and gold. So that is the result of our family investigation. I still hope that the police will contact us and say what is the result of their investigation over there in the police department. A very popular question was, why were you guys keeping all your cash at home? Well, first of all, it wasn't like all money that we had. We still had a little bit on the bank accounts, not much, but still we had it. And well, in Ukraine you usually want to keep some cash at home just in case, because the situation in the country is quite turbulent and you just need to have fuel in your car and you want to have some money in your pocket and be ready to run away. You know, recently in 2014 nobody expected, but the war with Russia started, and those people from Donbass, you know, they were running away, they left their homes, and what they had in their pockets, this is what they have. Everything else was just lost. So being traumatized by the war, by the conflicts, by collapse of the Soviet Union, you want to have some cash at home, and you want to have it in different currencies, in dollars, in euros, in hryvnias, because you never know when hryvnia is gonna collapse. The people of like generation of my parents, for example, they even don't trust the banks at all, because what happened to them in the Soviet Union, they were collecting all their savings and putting it on the so-called account book for their children. They were not traveling, they were not visiting restaurants, you know, they were having a very modest way of life, and they were putting all the money on the account. And one day they discovered that the money is gone. Just imagine, they thought they were rich, like my father thought that his daughters have money for the car, for university, for the apartments, and all of that was lost in one day, and it was never returned. People of like the generation of my parents, they don't trust the government at all, they don't trust the bank at all. We trust by a little bit, but you know, we're still suspicious. For example, what happened to me once, the bank in which I've been keeping my savings, it went bankrupt. In my case, I received that money back, but a few years after, and those money, well, it was not that needed anymore, like kind of, in case if I needed that money, that would be trouble. And another thing that the money lost their value a lot in few years, because this is what we can have in Ukraine. So the same, I don't trust the banks too much, yes. And again, here you have limits how much money you can withdraw from the bank account in one day. So for the moment, you can take even a few thousands of dollars, I believe. It depends on the bank, maybe 1,000, maybe 3,000. I think it's 3,000. But if the situation in the country becomes critical, if there is a difficult financial situation, for example, what is he gonna do? They will impose more limits. And I remember the days when I was allowed to take only 100 hryvnias from my bank account per day, which means like $5 or something in one day. That was sucks. Now guys, the conclusions basically. What we did. We installed the security system at home. Just today we were connected to that security service. Now we will have to pay about $20 per month for this. And I need to feel that I'm protected. At least, you know, even if I don't have any cash or gold in my apartment now to protect it, but still we have some equipment, some, I don't know, cameras, laptop and so on. And I just don't want anyone, any strangers anymore to enter my flat without my permission, you know, and to look through all of my underwear and of my husband's. And thanks God they didn't touch the kids' clothes, because that would be even more traumatizing. So I want to sleep well at night and to have a chance to go to my dacha for 2 days for weekend, and not to be in panic, but to have a chance to relax over there. So yes, we installed that security system, and it turned out that quite many of my friends, they already have it. We were not really talking about that, but it turned out that quite many people have been robbed here, like me, among not my close friends, but just in people from my circle. And that sounds reasonable to have that security system. So let me show you briefly how it works. In the rooms, we have installed these sensors of movement. When we are away and we turn it on, yes, it will detect any moving objects here, except of the cat. Hi, Moisha. The cat is still stressed. Keeps following me all the time. Kids are fine. Katya, Taras, hello.
Hello. Hello.
They don't know what really happened because they were sleeping. Here we have another sensor of movement. Yes, so we have sensors of movement in the rooms, and we have sensors of opening the doors and windows as well, like that on the door, or like that on the window. Yep. So if the window is opened, that reacts. So let's just in 10-15 minutes, the security service will come to connect us to them. So they say they were coming, and I have just a minute to here they are. Okay, I will add them in. Алло? Да, открываю. And meanwhile, I will show you. Okay, so here I turn it on. Okay. Like this is partly security. Yes, and now this partly security is, and if I open, not me, if a burglar opens the windows, if he gets in, that awful sound turns on, and the security service will know that they need to come. Okay, and it informs where exactly it opens. So the tall folks, thank you very much for your attention. I hope that information was useful and it helped you to understand better what is Ukraine. Okay, so don't forget to like this video and see you next time. Goodbye.